What's up, guys? Problem Giratina here. I actually did get a chance to play some more Showdown on 4th of July at like 10 o'clock at night. You know what? So, 2 more battles with my Mericuh team. Go you, go Mericuh. And I'm sure, again, the pronunciation sounds horrible on the mic because mic sucks, but whatever. Mericuh, part 2, let's go. So, the first battle I have is against this guy, Teddy Bear. He's got a pretty cool team. I mean, he's got like Hydreigon and Aerodactyl and some standard stuff. But then Nidoqueen and Magneton and Mew. I'm seeing a lot less Mew, so it's kind of a cool team. Don't really know what set the Mew is, but not much on my team really wants to face it since Slowbro can't touch it, but it's the only one who really wants to absorb a burn. So if it's like defensive defog Mew, that's gonna be a problem. And Nidoqueen, I potentially don't have too many switch-ins if it's Life Orb offensive, like no switch-ins, especially since now I think they can run physical or special, since now their physical attack is higher since Gen 6 buffed their physical attack. So anyway, kind of afraid of what those two things can do. I lead with Warvet predicting Hydreigon, but he just leads off with Mew. I'm like, I don't want to get burned, so I'm going to go into Total Moron. So just for turn 1 Sword Dance, okay. Switches out though, doesn't really want to face me as I just went straight for the Toxic. I'm like, die, die, die. I don't care if you have Synchronize. Magneton is a threat, so I have to go into McDonald's. Volt Switch does 31%. I'm max HP and I'm a Snorlax. I did 31%, so that's gotta be at least analytic, modest max special attack. Goes for the freaking Drain Punch, which I did not see coming, as I go for Return. Doesn't quite kill, so I'm gonna go into Total Moron, whose nickname I did change after this battle, I think. He goes for a Drain Punch and does manage to get enough damage to outlast the Life Orb. I'm like, damn it. So now I'm going to predict the knockoff and fodder off Snorlax, but he actually ends up having Sucker Punch, which is interesting. At this point, I'm just like, okay, killed my Snorlax. As he switches out, thinking that I was just going to go back into Slowbro and I kill the Heracross, I'm like, I was trying to fodder that. Okay. Now it goes into the Mew, kills me with the Drain Punch, gets some health, takes some Life Orb, it's still alive. Yeah, you can see in the comments. I was just trying to sack that. I was like, okay. So I'm going to go into Braviary because I know it can take at least one Sucker Punch. Probably didn't think I'd be Scarfed, but Scarf Braviary is awesome. Never have gotten anyone to defog on me, though. I haven't really seen much defog in UU. Kind of sucks. Anyway, it goes into Hydreigon. I don't want to risk the Speed Tie since I know he has to Draco. So I go into Fortress, gets a crit, does a lot of damage. Why? That was a good play. I didn't want to risk a Speed Tie, except he was probably Scarfed, and I'm Specs Hydreigon. And when he goes into Aerodactyls, I go for my Stealth Rooks, Mega Evolves, and this is a defog Mega Aerodactyl. Why? This is like weak to rocks. It's not very bulky. Like, why would you run this? I don't get it. So, like, it was a good battle, but there were some weird things. I go into Slowbro, goes into Magneton to take that Scald. Please burn, please burn. I get the burn. I'm going to wear this thing down now. I'm assuming it's either Specs or Violet. And I'm going to have to go into Obnoxious, just fodder that off. I don't really have a better switch since I need Machamp and Hydreigon at good health to take at least one hit here. Goes into Hydreigon. I go into Machamp. I know I can take anything he wants to do, so he just goes for the U-turn. Doesn't really want to stay in. Goes into the Nidoqueen as Dynamic Punch. It's going to do a decent amount, so I'm assuming like he's probably max HP, max either attack or special attack. Not sure which attack this is, so I'm going to go into Total Moron, figuring I can take at least one hit and get the Regenerator, but he hits himself. Pretty cool. So he goes into Hydreigon, as I went for the Scald, predicting that, hoping for a burn. I should have just gone for the Toxic, that would have made sense. And now I thought he'd U-turn predicting a switch, but he just goes for the Draco, which is fine, I guess. I'm going to go for another Scald, get the burn again, because, you know, it's Scald. It doesn't burn as much as it did Gen 5, according to the Canadian Wi-Fi, but whatever. Now I'm going to switch out, because he had -2 special attack. I'm like, Machamp can take this. Does 22%. That's more than I would have thought from like 0.33 times special attack. Alright, now he goes into the Aerodactyl as I went for the Ice Punch for the Nidoqueen. But now he doubles predicting the Bullet Punch, which was a good play, because now he just got into his Magneton while still having his Aerodactyl. So that was unfortunate. Goes, no, I'm going to switch out and just fodder Total Moron, because I realize I don't need it, but I would like Machamp at good health to take a hit from Hydreigon. And looking at his team, I just don't need Total Moron. So he's got to go into Nidoqueen, as I'm just going to go into Nuke Stuff, because Nuke Stuff just straight up Nuke Stuff. Sacks the Aerodactyl, which was a good play, as I just go for the Dark Pulse, which unfortunately is going to allow him to get a free switch into his Hydreigon. At this point, I'm going to fodder Braviary. I mean, honestly, I did not need it for the battle. I actually lived the hit, which totally caught me off guard. So at this point, like, it would have made more sense to just go into Machamp, take the hit, and then bullet punch him to death after the burn. But I just leave Braviary to die because I do not need Braviary. That was the thing. I'm just going to go Machamp. He switches out into Nidoqueen, and I just went for the Dynamic Punch because there's no reason to bullet punch. If he switches, it's good, and if he doesn't switch, he can't really do much to me. Hits himself in confusion where he would have gotten off good damage. That was unfortunate, but I was confident in taking one hit. As he goes into the Magneton, goes for the T-Bolt, which I am going to take because I am freaking AV Machamp, and he does not have the Analytic Boost. And all he has left is the Hydreigon, which will die to burn, but nevertheless, I'm just going to Bullet Punch it. That's a good game to Teddy Bear. That was a pretty close game. I definitely think there were a few weird plays, and Defog Mega Aerodactyl is kind of odd. Anyway, second battle. This guy has, like, Stall plus Heracross. I mean, not Stall plus, like, he has, like, a Stall core and then an offensive core. Drapeon's pretty cool, but is going to be a pain in the ass because, it, like, my main physical wall, Slowbro, is weak to it. Heracross, Scarfed, is just a problem. It outspeeds Hydreigon and Braviary. It's just not good. And Victini is always a problem because Bolt Strike or Trick can be a huge issue for Slowbro, so I'm not liking that. His defensive core, I can probably make it through, but offensive core looks like a huge threat to my team. So I'm going to lead with Dur out of 10, which is my new nickname, predicting the Victini, as he's just going to U-turn, which doesn't do anything, so I'm like, he's probably Choice Scarfed. Keep that in mind. I'm going to go straight off for the Toxic, predicting the U-turn, predicting him not to go into Drapion or Gligar to risk, because he wouldn't want to risk the burn on Drapion, and obviously Scald on Gligar. I'm going to go into Obnoxious. Moonblast is a fair amount, so I'm thinking he might have, like, max special attack or something, but I honestly don't know how much it would normally do, especially since Fortress's special defense is not as good as physical. I'm just going to get a Brox, because he doesn't really have a good way to deal with him, except for the Blastoise, which is my goal. In this battle, my goal is to wear down the Blastoise. So he's going to trick me, which is really, really unfortunate, because now Dur out of 10 just totally crippled, and he has lefties. But he is going to go into Blastoise. I am going to get the Scald off. It's not going to burn. My goal is basically wear down the Blastoise and get up my hazards. That's what I need to do to win this battle. So I'm just going to go into McDonald's, predicting the Rapid Spin, because I know I can get off a big hit. Not necessarily on the Blastoise. I could have gone for the Pursuit, but I just decided to go for the Return to hit something really hard. Goes into Gligar, and that's max HP, max defense. He just eats that up. But Gligar allows me a free switch back into Fortress, which is what I was hoping for. So as he goes for the knockoff, I'm just able to get up more hazards, which is exactly what I want. As he goes back into Victini, in before Rocks, as I'm just going to go straight back into Slowbro. I don't really have any reason not to. So he just V-creates this time, predicting me to predict him. But I just don't really have a reason not to go back into Dur out of 10. So he's going to go into the Blastoise, as I think I'm just going to go for the Scald again. And I do not get the burn again. Scald, you disappoint me. Like, Scald without burn is just weird. Now he goes for the Scald McDonald's, gets the burn. First try. I'm like, really? You crippled my Snorlax? I'm not a fan. But he goes for the Rapid Spin, which is really good for me. I'm going to get off a large hit on the Blastoise. At this point, I can just let Snorlax die. Rocks and one Spike will be able to take out the Blastoise. But he goes into Victini, so I'm going to get off some decent damage on this. Like, alright, I'm fine with this. I'm just going to fodder Snorlax, try to get a switch into my Fortress, and unfortunately for him, he's going to U-turn and go out into the Gligar. No, I'm sorry, he goes out into Blastoise. I thought I remembered that battle correctly, but I guess I didn't. I'm going to go into Braviary, just be Scarfed Braviary and kill shit. Now he goes into Gligar, which allows me the free switch into Fortress that I always wanted. That whole battle, without any way for him to get rid of hazards. He gets a Brox, which is fine with me. He goes for the knockoff, which is also fine with me. And I'm just going to start throwing out some hazards. This is what Fortress does. You weaken the spinner, you throw out hazards, and all of a sudden your opponent's team is looking fairly weak. So I'm going to get a Brox and a Spike, bring this Victini all the way down to 33%. I'm like, oh yeah. He's going to get some lefties. But at this point, I make a bad play. I went into Dur out of 10. I have my Rocks and 2 Spikes. I should have just foddered off Fortress. But I do go into Dur out of 10. Now I'm like, oh wait, I should just fodder off Fortress. So now I'm going to go back into Fortress. As he goes for a V-Create, which makes no sense. Like, there was no reason to try to predict Fortress or something. Like, that was just a straight up bad play. It worked out, but there was no reason to try to predict Fortress. But now I can go into nuke stuff since he does have the minus speed and just kill it off because he's obviously not going to switch out. It was just going to be dead. So Victini is dead. Goes into the Florges and is getting really wore down by rocks and spikes. So I'm just going to go into Dur out of 10. Since he's Scarfed, I don't really need him. Goes for the Moonblast, which does a lot. I'm like, I might be faster from the Scarf. I'm not faster. He gets off a Wish, which is fine with me. I'm going to go for the Psyshock, as that does a decent amount. And unfortunately, he's just going to be able to kill me off and get the Wish before he dies to Toxic. So that is kind of annoying. But this does allow me to get a free switch into Braviary. He doesn't have anything that can switch into this hit. So we're just going to sack Malice, the Florges. Is that, I mean, I guess it's just called Malice because it looks weird, I guess. Goes into Gligar, as I'm just going to swap out, go into Machamp. I don't need my Assault Vest, because I'm predicting knockoff. I don't need my Assault Vest since everything he has is physical now, but he Toxics first, which is fine with me. We're both going to swap knockoffs. I'm going to lose my Assault Vest, he's going to lose his Inviolate, which allows me to KO him with either of my remaining Pokemon. But, unfortunately for him, he's just going to stay and go for another knockoff, so I guess he's not running Earthquake, which is interesting. I'm just going to take him out with the Ice Punch. I'm like, thank you. Just let me get rid of this Gligar. So at this point, he goes into Drapion, which is a bit of an unfortunate play, because he goes for the Poison Jab, and it's just not going to take me out. I'm like, Drapion, you're so weak. I'm going to get off a huge hit with the Dynamic Punch. I will die to Toxic, but at this point, I can just come in with Braviary and just Brave Bird all the things. I think it maybe if he'd gone to Heracross, but even so, would not have worked. Excuse me. I'm going to just Brave Bird him death. Goes into Heracross. He's not Scarfed because he already had Scarf Victini, so that's going to be the game. Except for this. The one thing I could not predict. The Endure Salac Berry Heracross. Did not see it coming. Just totally catches me off guard. And I have nothing. Slackberry, not neuters out. It cancels out my Scarf. He's going to be faster. And that is going to be the game. He endures to be a dick. And yeah, I just did not see that coming. Like, I played correctly, and I would have won all of a sudden. It was like, endure Slackberry. And I was just like, what the actual fuck? I just did not see that coming. But anyway, those were two pretty awesome battles, except for that last Endure at the end. Just don't be that guy. And yeah, so if you like this, if you like the other one, please be sure to leave a like, comment, subscription, or any other support we'd like to show. As always, the like goal is going to be at 1 like. Can I get a like? Does that sound too desperate? I don't know. I don't really care. Nobody watches my stuff anyway, so nobody's going to hear this. So yeah, happy battles, guys.